Hey there, everybody. Hey, I was gonna say happy Monday because I missed yesterday. Sorry about that. Hope you're doing well. It's a Tuesday. My week is already jacked up. I will tell you about that in a moment. While we're waiting on people to join, don't forget to go to coopedup.com. That's my website. You can just see the stuff I post there. I'm actually about to post some kind of a throwback Thursday to some of our Italy photos because we were there 5 years ago this week. I really wish we could be back there right now. If you're on social channels, other social channels rather, I'm Cooped Up is my handle in most places. Wherever you are watching or listening to this, be sure to click the bell or whatever the notification method is for letting you know that I have come live or posted new content. And lastly, but not least, if you ever want to text me, send me a hot tip. I'll do the same in return. That is the number you can do it to 214-949-8599. So, hey, Mama, good to see you. So, my mama was worried about me yesterday. It was so sweet. Actually, many of you texted me, messaged me, and even called me about it. But my mom was the first. She's like, "Are you okay? Why aren't you live?" Because I'd already scheduled. So, I'd scheduled the episode. So, it does the teaser and all of that I was going to be live. And then what had happened was, okay, so y'all know that I got to be careful about all the details I share. So I may stop and back up and all of that. So you know that I'm working on a new campus for my kids' school, right? Yeah. So over the weekend, it got broken into. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Assume it's all the same people. So Saturday, I get a call. So the church that used to go there, their new building is not ready, and just to kind of keep the eyes on the building, we let them have their Sunday service still there. And they usually come in on Saturday and prep a little bit, and then they do their Sunday service. So they come in on Saturday, and their fellowship hall, which is where they're meeting, is just covered in dust, and there are 2 doors upstairs that are unlocked. And we thought maybe one of the workers was cutting a wall or something, and it would look like sheetrock dust, and maybe they forgot to lock the doors, and somehow something happened, right? So there was that. No, you know what? I'm getting it wrong. It was just the dust the first day. It wasn't the 2 doors unlocked. And thought, oh, that's weird. I felt horrible for them because all their stuff was covered in this dust and all that kind of stuff. The next day, on Sunday, they come in and they've cleaned up and everything. They come in and there's this dust is back. And there's no workers in the building. There's this dust everywhere. Like, what the hell? And then there's 2 doors that are unlocked upstairs, up because the fellowship hall is underneath the sanctuary. 2 doors unlocked up there, and there is tempura paint all over some of the walls. Dry tempura paint all over like powder, all over the walls. It's crazy. And it was so skunky smelling in there. So someone was obviously smoking everything but their socks in there. And oh, it was crazy. And so we're like, okay, someone broke in, someone left the doors unlocked, and we didn't notice it. We were still blaming the contractor, right? Well, we started exploring more, and they'd gone in, they had blown out all of the fire extinguishers all over the place. And so that wasn't dust. It was fire extinguisher residue that was all over everything. And the weird thing is, we have these really pretty renderings of the new campus in the lobby on these really nice easels and such. Didn't touch those at all. I'm grateful for that. So we're not cheap. But I was like, okay, this is weird that you would do that much kind of vandalism and destruction. They didn't actually destroy anything per se, because there's nothing to destroy. And it's just the church has a couple of belongings still in there, and everything else is either just trash or broken stuff. And so they did that. So we went around and locked all the doors and tried to barricade any windows that we thought that they might have gotten into, because the building, I did not realize this at the time, many of the windows did not lock at all. And so you could just walk up from the outside, push the window up, and jump in, right? And so then yesterday, I went by, I didn't sleep very well Sunday night, knowing that all this had gone on and that we weren't exactly sure how we were gonna remedy the situation. Monday morning at like 11:30 noon, I go back by, I check all the doors, everything is locked. I check the windows, it looks like everything is fine. And then yesterday afternoon, right after school, I went with our head of school, which is what private schools call their principal, basically. I went with our head of school to the new campus to check things out because we had put a few belongings there. And I just wanted to make sure everything was okay and all that kind of stuff. And we walk in, and I'm like, it smells different in here than it did earlier today. And it looks a little bit different. Between fucking noon and 3:30, they'd gotten in the building again. They'd gotten in the building again, and they'd broken they'd smoked out again too. And they broke a fluorescent light bulb on something. That's what I noticed. And I remember I had shut a door. I do shit like this. I will say, okay, I'm going to shut this door. I'm going to shut this door so that I remember if I did it or not. Yeah. And then I noticed that the roof, the roof is accessed by some stairs. It's an internal stairwell. But if the door is open, you can see it from the street that it's open. And I noticed the door was open too. And I was like, well, that's weird. I didn't notice that earlier. So we go in, and there were footprints because there's still all this residue. I don't know how we're going to get that cleaned up. All this residue, there's footprints all over it. It smells again. And there were like snack wrappers. And there's this one sofa that's still left there that they're sitting on. And I was like, okay, so we gotta figure it out. And so that was at like 3:30 yesterday. So I immediately got Todd, and we went in, and we literally got, and then I made the church, who is still doing stuff, send somebody as well. We took big screws and just in the every window frame downstairs. Every window frame now, you can't even try to open a window. And then we chained. And so what they were also doing, because I noticed the door was unlocked again yesterday when I went back at 3:30, and I had checked that door at noon, so I knew that it was not going to be open, and it was kind of propped open a little bit. So what they're doing is someone's going in the window, and then I think they're letting their friends in the doors, and then when they're leaving, they're just not locking the doors or something. So I got chains and locks, and just every door. There's only one door in the whole building now that is not chained shut. So ballsy, yes. Damn, during the day, ballsy to say the least. Little bastards. Yes, I agree. I think it's because of this virtual school. There's a high school close by, and I think that a lot of these kids are doing it virtually, and then they're just being vagrants during the day. Ugh. I'll tell you this, though. Going to Home Depot and buying 20 foot of chain, 9 locks, and a bunch of no trespassing, and this is monitored by camera signs. It kind of changes what your ads look like on Facebook after that. All of a sudden, all of my ads on social media, on websites, everything today is about security systems, about all this stuff. And you know why that is? I don't know if you've ever wondered. Your credit card company, it's not the stores, and it's not that Alexa's listening to you or anything like that. Sorry. The credit card company sells your transaction history to these marketing companies that then create this profile about you. It's your credit cards. It's not the store, and it's not the social media either. Sorry, the allergies today are crazy. Raven is saying they've always done this even before COVID. Well, hopefully once the building gets reinvigorated, I don't think they're going to do it in a building that has a lot of life in it, hopefully. And, oh, I forgot to tell you. So I go up to close the door on the roof, and I'm walking around with like a broomstick in my hand too. And so is the head of school, just in case. I don't think these potheads are going to be dangerous, but you never know. So get to the roof, the door's open. They set up a ring of chairs on the roof and had cups and water bottles and stuff up there. And the church guy's like, did y'all do that? And he's like, no, I didn't do that, because I brought him up there later. They were hanging out on the roof, which is a cool roof to hang out on. It's got a great view of downtown. It's flat. It's actually a really kind of a neat place to be. But my God, like just partying on the roof. Good thing this isn't Austin. It would be a homeless shelter. I know. So hopefully we're just keeping honest people honest at this point. I don't think that I've driven by twice today, checked all the doors. We had storms last night, so I don't think they were up to anything last night anyway. But checked all the doors again right after school today, just to be on the safe side. But I think that we also put a bunch of cameras in the windows and stuff like that. So I think that hopefully, cross your fingers, that's how they were getting in. Just can't figure out how they were getting in exactly, but there was a window frame that had a footprint on it, and that's the only thing I could think that that would be where it was. Um, but yeah, so that was that. It was hot as balls yesterday too. It was like the hottest day of the year so far. So humid. Today's a lovely day. If you're gonna break into something, why not do it on a day like today? So if I got to spend my evening there, I'm not sweating. Like even if I wanted to come live after being there, I was covered in sweat and dirt and tempura paint. And is it tempura or tempura? Tempura, I think, right? I don't know. Anyway, has construction started yet? We have plans with the city and we're waiting on permits. That is what we are waiting on at the moment. So hopefully soon. Anyway, so I got home and I drank all the wine. It helped with the delayed drinking. You know, I'm not drinking as early as I used to as a way to try to lose some weight. Well, I will tell you, I've not lost any weight, but I have stopped gaining weight. And maybe that is the same thing. I don't know. So I'm trying not to drink before 6 now, only between 6 and 8. I'm not sure that the quantity has changed much, just the time frame. Todd was out of town this weekend with the kids. They went camping. It rules out construction workers. I know. So we've had some workers in the building, like for engineering reports and like identifying like mechanical locations and pipes and stuff like that. And I thought that there had been some in like the week before, but then I confirmed with the architect that there hadn't been. So anyway, Todd was away this weekend at a thing called Y Guides. That's it's like a bunch of the local elementary schools and private schools here kind of come together and they do like a dads and kids camp out. And I don't do it. And Todd did it though with them. He took Gracie up there, our new RV, and hung out. It was a little rainy, but I think they had a good time. While they were gone though, I will usually go and do a big shopping day and lunch and stuff with Carrie. Her boyfriend's birthday was this weekend, and so we did not get a chance to do that. Plus, I'm getting my office ready. We're out of town next week, and then the Monday I get back, we're reopening the office on May 17th, I think. Yeah, everyone's agreed that they want to come back then. So good stuff. So over the weekend, on Friday evening, my friend Kristen moved her store. It's called All Good Things, and it's in Bishop Arts District if you're here in Dallas. I mean, it used to be on Davis, and she moved it more into the actual district. So cute. So I went there and hung out with her and saw the store and all of that on Friday evening, and then came home and watched some QVC. That's what I do. I love QVC. Watched One America News Network. I was just flipping, and it's like, I've never actually seen what this is. Oh, girl, do not watch that. The production value and it is full of Q. Let me just put it that way. And then Saturday I slept in. I didn't get out of bed until like 10:30, 11 o'clock, which is late for me. Really late for Monica and Mike. They wake up early. And then did a little shopping because I needed to. All the plants died at the office. Just a bunch of other stuff kind of needed to be replaced and all that stuff. I needed some new planters because I just throw away the ones that they died in some cases. And so I went to Big Lots. Can you imagine me at a Big Lots? There's one just around the corner from my house. And from stuff like that, sometimes I will start there. Just not because it's the best quality. I actually don't even think their prices are that great. Everyone acts like Big Lots is such a great deal. I was checking Amazon at the same time, and it was not that much of a savings. I was suspicious of that. But it's more just the location. It's so easy to get in and out of. And if I can avoid driving all the way to At Home, which I ended up doing anyway. At Home is what Garden Ridge used to be. Remember Garden Ridge? Garden Ridge Pottery when we were growing up. They're always in the suburbs. I went to the one down in Mansfield, which is close to where Gracie is. Actually, it is where Gracie is. And then Saturday night, I went to an election watch / victory party for my friend Chad West, who won for city councilman for our district. That was a good time. I stayed out till like 11, y'all. I got home at like 11. Todd's like, wow, because you could see when I disarmed the alarm to come back in the house, he's like, "You're out late." It was a good time though. I didn't feel bad the next day because I didn't drink that much. I just was hanging out with friends and doing all that kind of stuff. By the way, happy belated anniversary. I meant to do this yesterday for Monica and Mike. Yesterday was their 17th, I think that's right, wedding anniversary. They've been together 20 years, but yesterday was their 17th wedding anniversary. That was a fun wedding. Las Vegas at a drive-through at the little white drive-through wedding chapel and a stretch. Was it a navigator, I think? I was the witness and the photographer. Sucked in all the fumes from the navigator standing outside taking the pictures as they. So the minister was in the like the drive-through window, and they were kind of hanging out the car window. Hilarious. And in front of us, there was I think it was a Japanese couple, if I recall, in a convertible, like Mustang convertible, maybe. She was full big ass dress, all that stuff. He was in a tuxedo, and they were getting married at the same. Like we were right behind them in line. It was an excursion. My sister says the driver had 3 teeth. It was a good time, and then I think isn't that where Elvis and Priscilla Presley got married? Also, that sounds right to me. Someone famous got married at the same chapel, and my cousin. So it was me, Monica, Mike. Of course, Mike and Monica. My friend Matt went with me on this trip. Todd was in MBA school, so he couldn't come. Our Aunt Lois and Uncle Richard, I think, were there, and my cousin Christy, who also watches sometimes. And then we went inside. Christy and I went inside, and I think we got like party favors or something like that. Not drugs, like actual party favors. And anyway, it was Britney Spears, very different than Elvis, who got there. And they were in shorts and flip-flops compared to the Japanese people in full on, like the veil, the dress, and she had it spread out so that it covered the whole back of the car. And they pulled out in that. I don't think they drove very far. It was probably just set up that way. But what a fun time. That was a trip that night, Matt and I went out, got so drunk that the next morning we woke up and we were staying at the Aladdin, which is now Planet Hollywood. We woke up the next morning. It felt so shitty that I just texted Monica and I was like, "We're going home." And we flew home that day. Didn't even say bye. I'm just like, "We're going home." And we got on standby on Southwest, I believe, and came home that day. We were supposed to come home the next day. Just cut the day short. I'm there next week. It will not be that much of a party hardy situation. So. And Crystal is back from Puerto Rico. She does not recommend going there now, even though it was fun. Wait. It'll be too warm by June, so wait until the fall. Well, here's the thing about warm in June. It's still cooler than Texas, I am certain of. Everyone else was intense, and Gracie's sitting out there with all the air conditioners and TVs on. They were in cabins, technically. It was a YMCA camp, but pretty close. They didn't have streaming televisions and microwave ovens and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hamburgers. Yes, my sister says hamburger. When she says hamburger, she says hamburger, and she doesn't hear it. And she doesn't think she does, but everyone's like hamburger. I want the hamburger. Oh, happy anniversary to you, love birds. Love it. Last night after we got back, we just ate whatever we felt like eating at the house. I had Claire loves the Nissan. I think that's Nissan. Is that the right name? The cup of noodles. She loves those, the ramen. And last night I was like, fuck it. And I made myself one too. And that's what I had for dinner. Bland as all get out. So I added some sriracha to it, which made it taste a lot better. But then I drank the broth. Oh, I thought I was going to die on the inside. I was all kinds of on fire. Luckily, I didn't feel it this morning. Had a drink, and then we watched Thunder Force. Have y'all seen this? So Thunder Force is a new Netflix movie that stars, and I think it was going to be in theaters, like a real movie in theaters, but then because of what's going on, I think Netflix bought the rights to it, and it's Melissa McCarthy and what is her name? Octavia Spencer. Yes, Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer. And basically, it's like they're both middle-aged women, and they are superheroes. It is hilarious. The first part of it, there's a lot of setup about like why they're who they are and all that. Just get past that part. But once you get into it, oh my god! And I can't tell you any of the jokes, but it's a lot of middle-aged kind of jokes. Things hurting. The chicken. Oh my god, that was so gross. Oh, so gross to me. And I'm trying to tell you funny things without telling you what they are. There was a date scene involving butter and Old Bay seasoning. I was on the floor laughing. Oh, I was just dead. And we love Low Country boils and Old Bay seasoning and all that kind of stuff. So fucking funny. It has a lot of celebrities in it, which normally to me means it was more fun to make than it is to watch. But in this case, it paid off. I know a lot of people who were like, it was meh. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. There's one scene that happened, and again, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but before it happened, I hadn't seen it. Todd had actually already seen it. He watched it while he was at the camp out because it was raining. And I hadn't seen it yet, but something happened, and I immediately, before it happened, I saw it coming, and I'm like, ooh, you don't want to do that, blah, 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 because blah, blah, blah. Well, that ended up being the joke. It was so funny. Bobby Cannavale. Oh, he is so cute. He was Will's boyfriend slash fiance on Will and Grace for quite a while. So that was such a good show. Just silly fun. There was a couple of things. I love a pun. I love just stupid humor, like where I laugh and I'm like, oh my god, that is so stupid. Makes me laugh. Sorry, my throat is so itchy today. The chicken thing though, I can't tell you what that's about yet, but it's so nasty. I mean, like nasty in a hilarious way. And Melissa McCarthy I love her, but she is the same character in every movie she does basically, and I love her. I love her in everything. The Rebel Wilson is the same way. Love her in just about everything. But you know what I don't like? Robin Williams. I could not stand Robin Williams. I thought he was fine in dramatic roles like Awakenings and such, but in silly roles, I felt like he was the exact same thing in everything. And it was just it always felt out of control to me. Whereas I don't feel like Melissa McCarthy and all of those. And Raven still sees the Saturday Night Live skit of Melissa McCarthy with Horatio Sands in a pig costume whenever she eats a ham sandwich. I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that one up. But just so funny. And then Octavia Spencer. It's always weird to me when people win Academy Awards for like great serious movies. Like she won the Academy Award. Was it for it's for the one with the black women astronauts. I can't remember the name of the movie. I read the book first. The book is fantastic. Actually, the book is so much better than the movie because the movie is only like the last half of the book. If you read the book, you don't even get to where the movie starts until you're about halfway through it. Anyway, what's the book called? I can't remember now. I'm sure someone will comment on it. So she wins the Academy Award for that, and then she goes on into Hidden Figures. That's it. Thank you, Monica, and Leslie. So she goes on and does that, and then she goes on and does there's a movie where wasn't she God in a movie or something after that? I don't think it did all that well. And then she was in I don't know if it was a series or a movie. Who could tell the difference anymore? Where she was like letting people, like teenagers, come into her basement and hang out. And I don't know. I didn't see it, but I think it was like a thriller. Like she's doing all the stuff, and now she's in a superhero movie. It's hilarious. Love her. And she still is like serious. So she's trying to. I mean, you can't have Melissa McCarthy and then someone who is also like Melissa McCarthy. You have to have a balance, and she is. Ma is the name of the thriller that she was in, which I've not seen. That I don't like scary movies at all. There's a show or a movie out right now called Them that is supposed to be very good from a racial justice standpoint, talking about like systemic racism and all that kind of stuff. But then there's like this murderous underplot to it or something, like serial killer. I haven't seen it, but supposedly it is like crazy scary. And I do not like scary movies at all, especially when right now when I'm having to wander sometimes alone through abandoned buildings with a flashlight. I carry a flashlight with me at all times. So um Trish is saying they're best friends. I did not know that. That's funny. Um, yeah, but I love anything Melissa McCarthy does. It's so funny to me. And then last thing I had on my list today was I saw a report, a study, something like that, that a significant number of people, significant, it was like, keep in mind, this is news-ish, my stats aren't always on, but it was significant. It was like 35% or 40% or something like that of people feel guilty about shopping at Amazon. They feel guilty that they are somehow hurting local businesses, that they're somehow harming their communities, this sort of thing, because they shop at Amazon. I'll tell you this, I don't feel that in the least. A couple of reasons. One, there's very few things that I buy on Amazon that a local retailer sells, because where are you gonna get toilet paper? You're gonna go to Sam's, you're gonna go to Target, you're gonna go to Walmart, go to Kroger, Albert. These are all mega corporations, right? Whole Foods, something like that. The little local place down the street probably doesn't sell toilet paper. The other thing, but here is the thing that I've said this before. If you are a small business owner, specifically a retailer, small business retailer, you have to compete on something other than price. It is, if you are still competing on just having the same shit that everybody else has at the same price as everybody else has, you're going to lose. You can't beat the convenience part of it. So you either have to have a point of view. So like there's a store here opening up that's all board games. I don't know how well they're going to do, but at least that is a point of view. If I want to find like the latest, neatest, funnest board games, and they curate them and all that kind of stuff, that's my store, right? And I would be willing to pay a little bit more if I needed to get a board game for a game night or Christmas gift. We give away board games as Christmas gifts between our family. Monica's gotten Exploding Kittens from me like 10 times because I always forget, to the point where it's a joke now, but I always forget the games that I'd given her before. Or you do it based on convenience, like in the sense of we have everything that you might need if you're there used to be a children's store here close by, where if you were on the way to a birthday party, you could stop in there and get like a nice puzzle, a piece of clothing or something like that, and not have to think about it, and they would wrap it for you and all that kind of stuff. And you paid a little extra for that too, right? They've gone out of business because they made some other shitty decisions. But that aside, I just think a lot of specialization kind of stuff. Like that is how you, as a local retailer, that's why I do not feel guilty. If you were trying to compete with Amazon by doing the same thing Amazon is doing, no. Monica has a litter of Exploding Kittens. That game, Todd won't play that game. I think it's hilarious also. It's silly. So silly. Todd doesn't like it. Leslie is saying she had to stop watching Stranger Things, as did I. I was not, once it got into the oogie goopy, like thrilling stuff, I was out. I did not like when they would go to the Upside Down and all that kind of stuff. Isn't Them like Get Out? I don't know. I was fine with Get Out. I don't think Get Out was scary in the sense of occasionally stuff would jump out at you. It was more about the social justice part of it. Fantastic movie. But I don't know. I haven't seen Them. So yeah, any of y'all, have you seen both Them and Get Out? And how do they compare? Monica's saying Them is not really scary. My thing about Get Out that cracks me up is I still can think of Bradley, I don't know what his last name is. The dad, the main villain guy actually in it. that he's trying to be like, I'm hip with the black people. I voted for Obama, and I'm sure that as a black person, Crystal and other black people, y'all probably get this all the time from my folk. I'm sorry. I can relate to you. I voted for Obama. That cracks me up. That scene is so cringy. It's like, ugh, so cringy to see. There's also cringiness. There's a scene in the movie To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It's a drag queen movie with Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo, and a whole bunch of other celebrities. Another movie that probably should not be funny, but it was actually a fantastic movie. But there's a scene in it where Virgil, who is like the hick husband who beats his wife, he starts dancing, and it's so gross, so gross. Virgil is kind of like the rolling shit, but not funny and not sweet or anything. Just all the worst parts of it. I'm looking at comments real quick. Leslie is saying, I'm intrigued by them, but can't deal with the scary stuff. Same here. I just cannot. And once you get into it, I'm happy to bail. Todd will start a show and be like, I don't really like it. Like, I think I only like about 30% of this, but I'm going to see it to the end. And I'm going to watch all 7 seasons in case it gets better. That is not me. I'm like, I always know the first episode of something is probably not the best because it was a pilot. They're setting up a bunch of character development, blah, blah, blah. But if I get to see episode 3 of a show, I'm like, and I'm not that into it. If it's not like killing me, I'm out. Todd also, did y'all ever watch Dark Mirror? I'm going over, but we're catching up, right? Dark Mirror was a show that I could not watch because every episode was different. A lot of it was the same cast people, but every episode was different, and you never knew if it was going to be more funny or scare the shit out of you or make you so paranoid about life, freak you out, that kind of stuff. I think I watched 2 episodes of it. I saw the one with the robotic dogs first, and it's all in black and white, I believe. And that one just scared the shit out of me. I was like, nope, this is not my show. And then I watched another one. Was it about speed dating, I think? And then if it told you how long you were going to be with somebody and you were like required by law to be with them for that long, that also freaked me out. So it's time to go camping. Where are we going? So we're going to Vegas, not in the camper, on Sunday and get back on Friday. Todd's staying here, but I'm going with the kids. And then, Mike, has Monica talked to you about coming up the weekend after that? There's a big RV show here at Cowboy Stadium. I think it's inside the stadium. Put on by Camping World, I think, or Gander. I don't remember who it was. Got free tickets, though. Monica's already got tickets to it as well. And that is in what day is that, Monica? Is that like the weekend of the 20th, 23rd, something like that? So we are coming. Yes. We will get it ready for you. Going camping in your driveway. Are you going to bring your trade in? Buy a new one. My kids don't know what to expect. We'll see. Did I see fishing in the pool? Yeah. Leslie's asking, did I see Superintelligence with Melissa McCarthy and Bobby Cannavale? I have not. I've never even heard of that. I'll have to look that up. I love her. She was in that also. She was in that movie where she was a spy, and that one was hilarious too. Another movie that is hilarious about spies, and it features someone who I very much dislike, Anne Hathaway. Do not like Anne Hathaway at all. Princess Diaries and Brokeback Mountain are about the only 2 movies that she's in that I just can tolerate. But she's in a spy movie, and I like this movie too, with Rebel Wilson, and it is hilarious. I've seen it like 10 times. I watch it on the plane all the time. So, all righty, y'all. Well, with that, please say a little prayer that our little school is gonna be safe and stop breaking into. The neighbors have rallied, by the way. They are like taking turns walking around. They're checking all the doors. They're texting me updates if they see something. So they're very, very, very kind to us, and we are very happy to be moving to that neighborhood with the school. So, alrighty, with that, I'm gonna say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. It's very important to know that. Love that you watch this. This is my therapy, and I really, really needed it today, especially since it's just iced tea in here right now. Hmm, on my throat. As always, don't should yourself to death. Take care of yourself, and I will see you tomorrow. I assume Carrie is going to be here tomorrow. It is Wednesday tomorrow, right? I think so. So I assume I'll see you to be here with Carrie. If not, it'll just be me. Another episode of Cooped Up Live, should I say. Talk to you later. Bye.